Hey everyone. Now, today in this video, I just wanted to respond to an article that I came across talking about how the English countryside still feels like an exclusive club and how they're looking to change this. And when I read the article and even off the headline alone, of course, I'll post all the links in the description box. Man, I'm telling you, it's a load of nonsense. It's complete BS. I mean, it does two things, in my opinion. It makes us look like idiots, number one. And number two, it kind of makes us, it babies us. It makes us look like children who need to be handheld at every hurdle or any hurdle that we come across, and that there needs to be some sort of initiative, flyer, meme, some sort of post, some crowdfunded initiative that the government may have to sponsor, something like that, in order for us, in this case, to overcome the massive hurdle of venturing into the English countryside. And for life of me, I didn't understand the tone of the article. And the thing is, I can't just criticize this person who wrote the article, because this is not the first time I've heard this. And so this has legs somewhere where it seems as if a lot of ethnic minorities feel as if, that's the key word, feel that a lot of the countryside is inaccessible. And maybe I'm in the minority here and maybe I missed something. So please let me know in the comments as to what I've missed. But the idea that it's inaccessible, the idea that we need some sort of facility to make it accessible for all in a rural area, it makes no sense. We're talking about an open spaced, open planned area. There are no gates that can stop you from getting in there. There are no fences that can stop you getting in there. These are open planned areas. There's no dome over it. It's not like an exclusive, club which has normally walls, a proper building in it where it has also security guards. It's not like that. The only ones which likely will stop you are ones which usually are privately owned, in which is due to a plot of land or something like that, which you know that it's not something you can go on. And if you do, you're trespassing, and that's something completely different. But that's not what this article is saying. It's talking about public spaces. I could almost even give it a bit of credence if it was talking about living in like a rural area type, countryside type thing, out of the way from normally cities. I can even give it a little bit of credence because that's probably down to demographics and that kind of stuff. But this is talking about, for the most part, access to green spaces, natural open plan spaces. That's something completely different. Everyone can have access to that. Anyone can. When I go to any sort of open spaces, what I'm likely going to see are just people lightly walking their dogs and people running or people playing any sort of types of sports that they want to, depending what season it is. But that's really what you're going to see. You're just going to see open plan, grass, trees. You're going to see nature at its finest, ducks, birds, all that kind of other stuff. I mean, this may point to another thing. Is this because we just have a perception of that's just it's not a black thing, it's more of a white middle class thing? And if that's the case, it kind of shows us to not really have a lot of depth and versatility as people. And it just shows us to be a little bit, again, it's more simple minded if you think about it that way. I mean, I know we joke and laugh about certain things, but when it gets committed to, articles and this kind of stuff and how we have initiative to try and make it more accessible, that's when I'm like, come on now, that's ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. And especially when you consider our peoples, our parents or grandparents or however you are in the line, they would have come from areas where they've been in the Caribbean or the continent with a head of a lot of rural areas. So it's not something that our families wouldn't have been used to, having rural areas. So I don't get it. I know that's not to say everyone would have came from rural areas. A lot of people would have also come from urban areas as well in those places, but still massively shrouded in rural areas. Most of where we live in urban areas only accounts for probably like 10% of the land in like most countries because of how things have to be regulated for farming and agricultural and all that kind of other stuff. So the idea that we can say that the English countryside is only accessible to a certain group, or I don't know. For me, it just feels off. To me, at least, it's easy accessible. I love it when I'm watching it when I'm driving down and I can see the open plan spaces when it's a nice day. I think that looks really, really good. I appreciate it more as I've gotten older. I tell you that. When I was younger, I'm like, unless I was playing football on it or doing something on it or whatever it may be the case like that, I didn't really care about it too much. But no, I do appreciate the countryside a lot more as I've gotten older. But that's just me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in thinking like this. Maybe I'm in the minority. So let me know your thoughts on this. Until next time.